What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into the Thursday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Peralta. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. Every morning we are here across every platform you get your podcasts, also on YouTube, and we're also being brought to you by BetMGM. All right, really good night yesterday. So a 4-1 day. The only bet we got wrong was the Eric Bledsoe over 12.5 points. He scored 12, and he had a wide open layup at the end of the game, and he gave it up. He could have scored if he wanted to get us to 14 to 14, and we would have cashed on that. Unfortunately, we don't get there, but we do get there with the over for the Pelicans and the Bulls at 236.5. Got there easily. We got the over for Zach LaVine, 29.5 points scored rather. That was good to get that, so that cashed for a quarter. We got Toronto on the money line, a 6-1 victory, a laugher for them. They just walked. That was great to see. And then Villanova was up big, and then the Creighton Blue Jays went on a 17-0 run. They came back, but Nova hung on to cover that 4-point line. That was not a fun sweat. This should have been an easy walk in the park, but it wasn't. Jays made it interesting in the second half, but Creighton gets there. So half a unit cash on Nova, half a unit on Toronto, half a unit on the over for Chicago, New Orleans, and a little close to a quarter unit cashing for the Zach LaVine over at minus 115. So 4-1 day. I will take that every single day. I got a couple other personal plays right, so I had a really big night. One of the best nights I've had in a long time. That was nice. If you guys listen to my radio show, Pushing the Odds, there's more picks and plays that come out during the day and whatnot. So we had the Wichita State minus 4.5. We got that right. We got the James Harden. I was going back and forth between James Harden rebounding and Zion Williamson rebounding. Zion was 8.5 at minus 140. James Harden was 7.5 at minus 110. So I went with Harden versus Zion. I know a lot of you guys listen to the podcast, so you took Zion last night on the rebounds. Zion got there as well as James Harden with the triple-double, so that was beautiful. I talked about it on my radio show. Harden was plus 185 to get a triple-double. That was a pretty good bet to make. He was going to get that against the Rockets, and he got that against the Rockets. So if you bet that, congratulations. If you bet both, congratulations. I know a bunch of you guys were sharing your tickets with me and showing receipts and whatnot. So that's great. Good night. Much better. So we go with a 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. So a 5-2 mark now turns into a 9-3 mark over the last 3 days. And this is why I think it's really dumb to write to me, DM me, and say things about how much I suck. Because, look, this is the ups and downs, okay? I'm not always going to hit 9 of 12. I'm not going to hit 1 of, 8-1, okay? I'm somewhere in the middle there, okay? This is not easy to do, but when we're up and we're going well, yes, we're going to enjoy it and have a good time and hopefully keep it rolling. All right, I got a bunch of bets to talk about. I am sprinkling all over the place here with quarter unit and half unit plays here on a Thursday. But let me tell you, first and foremost, I'm doing that because I am betting the board again for the NBA for dogs. Doesn't count here, but I shared it during the Discord channel. I'm not going to go over it here on the podcast. It's just too wordy. But Thursday is a very profitable day, has been up until the All-Star break, and the All-Star break is after today. So because of that reason, I'm going to take the numbers, and I played it on Saturday. It went well. Played it on Sunday. Was a disaster. Okay, 4-3 Saturday, 1-7 on Sunday. Last night and the night before, dogs have been playing pretty well and cashing. I'm going to go back into it. All the money lines aren't out yet in the NBA, so we don't have the full slate yet. But once tomorrow morning, once I have that, I'm actually going to wait today. I didn't do this. On Sunday, I just got up and I bet everything right when I woke up. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait till we get right before tip-off, and then I'm going to bet, okay, for each game. So I'm going to try a different strategy to see how I get, because the lines flip around, right? If it's a tight line, short line, we could have a favorite turn into a dog and whatnot. So I'm just going to bet the dog right before tip for all the games tonight here in the NBA. So I'll tell you exactly the prices that I get in the Discord channel by going to bettingpros.com/chat. I will tell you the exact prices that I am betting, but first and foremost, that's what I'm doing here today. So I've got golf bets, hockey bets, 2 player props in the NBA to go along with the entire NBA slate, and a college basketball bet that I'm going to make coming up here today. So this is a busy day, okay? A busy day. So right at the top here, let me tell you about the BetMGM offer because it's a new offer. It's a pretty cool offer, to be quite honest, and it's a little bit long, and I apologize for this. But BetMGM is giving you guys, the Daily Juice listeners, a sportsbook and the online sportsbook customers for BetMGM, an opportunity to win a trip here to Las Vegas for a VIP event from BetMGM at the MGM Resorts Hotel of their choice in Las Vegas during the first round of the tournament. The sweepstakes has already started. It goes from now until the 10th of March, winner being picked within 24 hours of the end of the promotion. We will then send you and a guest to here in Las Vegas for March 18th to the 21st, Thursday to Sunday. This is available in New Jersey, West Virginia, Colorado, Tennessee, Michigan, Virginia, Iowa, and Pennsylvania is pending approval. To claim this promotion, you must first opt in on the promotions page. Entrants will earn the entries. Will earn entries with the following structure. Okay, you opt in to the promotion for a free entry. 1. Every bet of $25 or more on the men's college basketball games will qualify as an additional entry. There's no cap for how many entries are allowed. Best bets must be placed between 12 p.m. on the 3rd of March to midnight Eastern on the 10th of March. The package will include a VIP experience during the NCAA tournament at the Bellagio, round-trip tickets to and from here to Vegas, 3 nights accommodation at an MGM property of your choice based on availability, and $5,000 in sports betting funds to be used on the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament at BetMGM. All right? So again, to claim it, you must opt in. Then you must, every bet you make of $25 or more gets you entered in for an entry. No, there is no cap on the number of entries, and the promotion ends at midnight, 11:59 p.m. on the 10th of March this month, next week. And within 24 hours of the end, a winner will be selected, and you will be brought to Vegas for the NCAA tournament thanks to BetMGM. It's a very, very cool deal. You can DM me for further details if you need more explanation as to how this is going to go, but it's open now. If you have a BetMGM account right now, you can be a part of it. So they're going to give one lucky winner. So you must opt in, though. That's the key. Opt in for the promotion for a free entry to get into this promotion from BetMGM. Okay, let's start with golf. And the and the Arnold Palmer Invitational, which is going to be a really interesting tournament. All right, let's start with one guy. I'm doing 2 top 10s, okay? So there's a lot of talk right now around Bryson DeChambeau and his driving distance and what he's going to try to do here on this golf course this week starting this morning. And he might. There's a hole on this golf course that's a 550-yard par 5. But the flight to get the ball to the actual green over water is only 330 yards. With the wind, a lot of people think Bryson's going to go for it. If he has the wind in the right direction, Bryson DeChambeau might be making eagle on all 4 rounds. He tried it during the practice round. The wind was in his face, and he didn't get it there. But he thinks if he gets the right wind, he's going to drive the green on a par 5. Okay? So let's see if he tries it. He may not. But if he does, it's worth a quarter unit at plus 160 for Bryson DeChambeau to come in the top 10. Okay? At DraftKings, you can get this at plus 160. He's a plus 1,200 favorite. Second best. Rory McIlroy is the best, shortest odds. Second shortest odds are Bryson DeChambeau. So I'm not going really far out on a limb here. But plus 160, I think that's a good number for a quarter unit for Bryson DeChambeau to come in here for the Arnold Palmer, to have him come in the top 10. I like him to have a big tournament. And again, if he is driving a par 5 here in this golf course, it's going to change the golf course dramatically. And this is one of these times where Bryson's going to start to go into the lab and start to really create some stuff. So I'm going Bryson DeChambeau, top 10, plus 160. Let's see if he's driving par 5s. If he is, he could run away with this thing because he could be 2 or 3 strokes better than everybody else. His distance is this course is perfect for him just to rip it and grip it and let it fly. So we're going Bryson, top 10. Second bet, a little more of a flyer, Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler has found himself in the middle of a controversy because he's getting ripped on by Nick Faldo. Ricky Fowler is in jeopardy of not making the Masters. He's going to be in the top 50 coming up for April, and he right now is 65th in the world. Not good for him. He has appeared in 41 consecutive majors. Not good when you are sitting outside that right now. So he needs to get going here. He has missed the cut in 10 of his last 25 starts. However, he's starting to play a little bit better, okay? Played well last week, and now he knows he's got to get going. There's a lot of pressure on Ricky Fowler. Back in 2013, he came in the top 5 here at this golf course at Bay Hill. He's played it 9 times. His best showing came in 2013 when he came in tied for 3rd. You can get Ricky Fowler right now in the top 10 at plus 650. All right? Again, this is a bit of a flyer, but a guy who has played a little bit better. He came in tied for 20th at the Genesis, so things are kind of trending in the right direction for Ricky, and he just needs to play well, period. And I think when you get into some type of argument publicly, we talked about this before with Max Homa, where we were on Max Homa at the Genesis, saying, okay, he was getting ripped on for not getting the right amount of airtime and whatnot. He came up and he won the damn thing. I don't think Ricky's going to win this thing, but at plus 650, top 10 for Ricky Fowler at a quarter unit, let's go with it, okay? Great flyer bet for us. Hopefully he makes the cut. That's a fear here. But hopefully Ricky plays well. He likes playing in Florida. So Bryson DeChambeau, top 10, plus 160, quarter unit. Ricky Fowler, top 10, plus 650, quarter unit, 2 plays in golf. All right, let's talk hockey. And boy, oh boy, we've done well in hockey. Let's talk Maple Leafs and Vancouver. Toronto is red hot, and I mean red hot. They give up 1 goal in 3 games. Their goaltending has been tremendous. Maybe that's a little bit as to who they were playing with the domination that they've had here with 3 straight victories. But now they're on the road. They're at Vancouver. The Maple Leafs are 4-0 over the last 4 road games. But this is a little weird because Vancouver's only plus 136. For how well Toronto is playing, you would think that this would be a pretty big line, and it's not. So I'm starting to smell a little bit of skunk here. It's a back-to-back. That's also, pretty big on a back-to-back. Great goaltending in tired legs to me. That means not a lot of goals. However, the line is 6.5. The under is 4-0 in the last 4 games for Toronto, okay? They have gotten really good goaltending, and I think they're going to continue to get really good goaltending coming up here tonight against Vancouver. The question is, can Vancouver play defense and not give up a ton of goals? Austin Matthews is back for Toronto. I'm going to pull my guts out, and I'm going to play an under. The under is 6.5 at plus 105. I don't know why I'm liking plus money bets today, but I could get totally killed, but I'm betting a lot of dogs today, including the Thursday dog on every NBA team. I don't know. It's a dog Thursday. It all could blow up in my face, and might get eviscerated, but I'm going to go with the dog here. I'm going to go with plus 105, under 6.5 goals for Toronto and Vancouver. The under is 9-1 over the last 10 meetings between these two teams. The under is 4-0 the last 4 times these two teams have met in Vancouver. I'm going to ride the trends here, and I'm going to take the under 6.5 goals. Hopefully both teams play well. Hopefully both teams' goaltending steps up. Toronto keeps going here. They won 6-1 last night, but let's hope that there's not a regression here for their goaltending. Under 6.5 for Toronto and Vancouver at plus 105 is our half a unit play on hockey. Other half a unit. Let's talk about the Jets on the road at Montreal. This is interesting. This is another line that I'm kind of like, what in the world? So here is a Jets team, in Winnipeg, who are 6-0-1 following a regulation loss, and they lost last game. The Montreal Canadiens finally won a game for their new head coach after firing Claude Julien. They beat Ottawa 3-1. Ottawa's not very good. You guys know how I feel about the Senators here. But I like Winnipeg. I've liked Winnipeg a lot. Winnipeg and the Toronto Maple Leafs, maybe my 2 favorite teams to bet on here this year. I really like it a lot. And the Jets are a team offensively. They're opening up on a 5-game stretch here. 5 games, 2 of them in Montreal, Thursday and Saturday. They're coming off of a 5-2 victory against Vancouver on Tuesday. So I think this is a chance for them to bounce back here and get a win. And I'm liking this here for them today. I'm reading an article that has Jets forward Matteo Perreault. which is my name, Matt Peralt, the French version of mine. So, this is a team that they don't want to lose 2 in a row here. So I'm going to roll with the Jets here at plus 132 on the money line on the road to see Montreal go back to their losing ways and to say that Carey Price isn't going to play well and that the Winnipeg Jets offense gets a victory on the road here against Montreal. Half a unit, I'm going to take the Jets at plus 132 to win on the road at Montreal. So under Vancouver, Toronto, half a unit. Jets money line at plus 132 for a half a unit. Okay, so those are the hockey plays. So that's golf, that's hockey. 2 NBA plays, and they are both player prop plays for a quarter unit. Okay, done fairly well with this. We're 2-1 so far. I'm 3-1 since I've been betting these. So let's talk about Michael Porter Jr. All right, his number is 14.5 at minus 120 to the under. Michael Porter Jr. is a 3-point specialist, right? Big guy, loves to shoot the 3. Scored 11 points his last game out against Milwaukee, 17 points against the Bulls, then 20 points against OKC, 18 points against Washington. But the key number for me are 3-point shots. He's hit 3, 5, 2, and 3 over his last 4 games. The number being 14.5 means he's going to have to hit threes. When he scored 20 points, he hit 5 threes. He's going to need to do something similar to that to get over here of the 14.5 point number for Michael Porter Jr. as his team, the Nuggets, take on the Indiana Pacers. Here's the interesting thing. Indiana, when it comes to their ability to stop 3-point shooting, they're giving up 37.9% shots from behind the arc. It's one of the worst in the NBA. Over the last 3 games, they're giving up 44.4% from behind the 3-point line. That is abysmal. What does Michael Porter Jr. do? He shoots threes. I'm going over 14.5 points for Michael Porter Jr. at minus 120. The number from the BettingPros NBA cheat sheet, they've got it at 17 points for him. So we got 2.5 points of value there for him to go ahead and go over. So they got him at 17. The number is 14.5 at minus 120. We're going Michael Porter Jr. over 14.5 points tonight for a quarter unit. Other quarter unit, we're going to my Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum. Going to be in the 3-point shooting contest. Jason Tatum against the Toronto Raptors. Jason Tatum's number is 24.5. Projected total with the BettingPros cheat sheet is 26 points. So not a crazy 1.5 points of value, not a ton. But the number is only minus 102 for him for the over for Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum earlier in the year on the road at Toronto scored 40 points. Now, that was a while ago, okay? That was back in early January. He scored 40. But he scored 14 against the LA Clippers. Not a typical game for him by any means. It was 5 of 16 shooting. I think he's going to want to come out and shoot and play well here. Scored 31 points in the game before that against Washington, 9 against Indiana, 13 against Atlanta, 28 against Dallas, though, 32 against the Pelicans, 25 against Atlanta, and 35 against Atlanta. And this is a game with Toronto. Raptors don't play much defense anymore. They used to, but they really don't play much defense anymore. And like I mentioned, Boston in the first matchup back in January, Boston put up a ton of points, scored a ton of points on Toronto, and Tatum was 11 of 19 shooting in that game, 5 of 8 from behind the 3-point line, scoring 40 points. I don't think he'll score 40 tonight, but I think Tatum's going to try to put up a big number right before the All-Star break and get this offense going for Boston, get a victory before they head into the break. I'm going over Jason Tatum, 24.5 points for him at minus 102. Again, the projection is 26 points for him for a quarter unit. And the final half a unit, all of this, by the way, is just 2.5 units. All these bets are just 2.5 units. But we're going West Virginia hosting TCU in college basketball. The game happening in Morgantown. The line is 13. West Virginia is just really, really good. All right, they're really good. They should have covered their last game against Baylor. The referees didn't help them out at all. That home crowd is real. It's exciting. In the first matchup against TCU played pretty well against them, and it was kind of a surprise. I mean, they were 6-point favorites. They won by 8 on the road, okay? So they covered it by 2 points. That was last week. Now they flip around. They're going to Morgantown. The number is 13, but You look at the Kansas State line at 15.5 at home. They won by 22, so they covered by 6.5. They beat Texas and TCU on the road and covered. They lost to Oklahoma at home, but before that, they had covered against Texas Tech and against Kansas. At home against KU, winning by 12. I think West Virginia sees the end, and they see a 2 seed. And if they keep going the way they're going, they're going to be a 2 seed. I know they're only 13-11 to the number and 5-6 at home to the number, but I love the way they're playing right now. I love the way their guards are playing right now. I don't think TCU's got a shot here. I'm going to lay the 13 points. West Virginia minus 13 against TCU to keep it running. I know a lot of people probably will take the points here with the dog, okay? I get that. And this number probably rises a bit, so the pros probably will wait and then take the dog. But I just think this late in the year, in Morgantown, with fans, with the way that Huggins is playing with these guys, I'm laying the 13 points. West Virginia big over TCU for a half a unit, okay? So, to recap all these bets, a lot of them, so deep breath. Bryson DeChambeau, top 10 plus 160, quarter unit. Ricky Fowler, top 10 plus 650, quarter unit. Under 6.5 goals, Toronto, Vancouver, plus 105 for a half a unit. Jets money line. Jets money line against the Canadiens, plus 132, half a unit. Michael Porter Jr., minus 14.5 over for minus 120, quarter unit. Jason Tatum, over 24.5 points, minus 102, over for a quarter unit. And West Virginia, minus 13 at home against TCU for a half a unit. So really, 2 units in play today. All that, 2 units in play today. And then the golf bets, we'll decide it on Sunday for the Arnold Palmer. By the way, we went 1-1. UNLV is not going to win the Mountain West Conference, but we did get the minus 109 for Villanova to win the Big East, so that cashed. Both those were quarter unit bets that we made back in early, November? So we got those bets to cash. So 1-1 are college basketball futures. That's good. We got that. I mean, I only bet a quarter unit on either one. So overall, I think we're down just like a little bit, maybe like very little, but basically a wash for those 2 bets. Just one hit, one doesn't. So, but Nova, we got that right. So from a record standpoint, another future bet cashed for us, which was good for Villanova to win the Big East after they won and covered last night. So this was fun. I'm enjoying the player props. You guys are enjoying the player props. And we're in hockey, we're in golf, we're in college basketball, we're in the NBA. Let's see how the NBA dogs get going and what they do coming up here today to bet the board before the All-Star break. Hopefully we have a good day during that as well. I'll be going back and forth with you guys on the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat to get into the Discord channel. My name is Matt Peralt. Follow me on Twitter @SportsTalkMatt. Every morning it's the Daily Juice podcast right here on bettingpros.com, brought to you by BetMGM.